Hello and welcome. My name is Nadia van Raam. I'm an associate instructor from the Reconnection, and I am from the Netherlands. I'm here, and I'm going to do my best to pronounce her name properly, but she will correct me later, with Eleonor Cordeiro from Brazil. And I'm so very honored that she's here willing to have this little mini interview with me. Dear, will you please introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, I'm Eleonor Cordeiro, yes.
That's
And
it.
I've done
Much better than I did.
a wonderful job with my name. And I'm a foundational reconnector working in Recife since 2015. I've been working with Reconnective Healing and the personal reconnection. I'm also a coach, and I do reconnective coaching. Kind of integrated the frequencies into the coaching, but mainly for people who do their personal reconnections and reconnective healing sessions and want to kind of think a little bit about their lives. Okay, so those two things have been integrated, and sometimes meditation as well. So it's a little bit of a pack of what I do, but my main focus is really reconnective healing and personal reconnection.
And we met a couple of weeks or a couple of months ago, actually, during a course that was held online that I was teaching with a couple of my colleagues, which is called Living in the Frequencies, and which was Eleonor was part of this. And I asked Eleonor, because she had such a wonderful contribution as a group member, if she would share a little bit with us about her reconnective healing journey. And I was quite interested in how did you come across reconnective healing, and why did you decide that this was for you?
That's a good question. It happened in 2013, the first time I came across reconnective healing. It was through friends. I'd been a searcher since 1995, so had tried out all sorts of techniques, energetic things, and reconnective healing made me stop. I think that's the first and most important thing about it. I stopped searching because I found my home, my kind of family or energetic field, whatever you want to call it. And it was not something that I did because I thought it was, I just felt it. And obviously afterwards, there had been many temptations, okay? People have invited me to try out all sorts of things. And I always say, no, I don't need it. I honestly don't feel I need it. I feel so kind of fulfilled by this experience, because it is an experience that happens again and again. Every time we meet a person that comes as a client to do reconnective healing, we have a portal that opens in terms of learning about ourselves and about the person. So it's been for me a very fulfilling, that's the word, fulfilling experience. So I decided then, these couple of friends who lived in Brazil and were aura readers came across this Eric Pearl's team in 20, I think 12. They were part of the first group in Brazil that underwent the levels 1, 2, and 3. In those days they came into a pack of 5 days, and they did it, and they told me.
Almost, the painting is almost. I think we will explain in the end.
I will talk about it. Yes, don't fall. Stay here. Yes, no, it's okay. So I decided to ask them more, and then they said, well, come to Brasilia, and off I went, had a couple of sessions of reconnective healing, another in Recife, distance, because I wanted to experience everything presential and distance, to see the difference, of course, because I was a kind of a searcher, so the searchers wants to experience everything. And then things began to change because I was actually in those days in a very difficult situation in my life. I wanted to leave the interior of my state in the northeast of Brazil. The state is called Pernambuco. And where I am at the moment, I am in a town in the interior, but I wanted to leave. I was tired, and I used to be a teacher, okay, and had been trying to leave and did not manage at all because I did a good job, and so the institutions wouldn't let me go. And the reconnective healing frequencies found a very actually unusual and strange ways of taking me out of that. The first two sessions were in November 2013. In December, I went to this town about 240 kilometers away from Recife for the last time to teach. Had a month's holiday. On the way back, I just couldn't stay and felt so bad, but they forced me. And so what happened was I had my reconnection, brought one reconnector from the south, invited her to come to Recife. She stayed in my house and did personal reconnections in some of us. And then after that, very strangely, I had a pain in my shoulder, a horrible pain in the middle of the night that impeded me from driving. I could no
Oh,
longer drive.
oh,
And then I had to stay in Recife, so I couldn't go to the interior. But I can't. I felt everything, but I said, I understand. I know. I know what's going on.
so you needed that.
I
You
needed
needed,
that. I didn't. The institution did, because otherwise they wouldn't understand. Afterwards, I made a few mistakes with documents because I was kind of invited to stay in Recife working for the rectorship. And I stayed there as an advisor. And I made a few mistakes in the documents. So people decided that I had burnout syndrome. I was too old and I was diagnosed burnout. I myself just couldn't believe that I had used the wrong papers. I'd never done that. It was very weird. I'd used I signed the wrong document. I said, I can't believe it. It's me. So the institutional doctors decided that I had burnout and I had to stay away from work for a few months. Actually, I was given 6 months. And after six, and then what I did was walk on the beach during 6 months to recover. It was like free time after 30, so I don't know, 30 some years of nonstop, working as a teacher. And I just knew it. It was going in the right direction, but for people around me, socially speaking, it was so bad. Okay, because how can she? Is she going crazy? She's not well. What's going on? But that was the way the frequencies found to very gently give me time for myself, paid because I was being paid to take care of myself and not to see a classroom.
was
When I
that
came
for the
back
first time in your life
for
that
the
you took
first time,
that
yeah,
time? Mm.
exactly. And then after 6 months, they decided that I should be transferred from the interior to a school about 20 minutes from where I lived.
Wow.
And I just thanked so much the universe because I knew it was the frequencies. The doctor that saw me for the first time in the institution, she was extremely rude to me after the appointment because they have to be like that because I could be lying. Do you understand? She has to the questions they ask is to test whether you're saying the truth or not. So after the interview, I just cried, my eyes out just because I felt so bad. 1 month later, when she saw me again, she was another person. She was like an angel. I said, my goodness, I just can't believe it's such a transformation. Because every month I had to go and she had to authorize for one more month. So I had all these experiences with the frequencies, and I could understand. So when I had after the 6 months and now that I was transferred, I just thanked them so much. I went back to work in August. In September, I was with Eric Bell.
Wow. For the catalyst
For
training?
level 1. Because,
Right. At
yes,
that time, the level 1 was still
level 1
taught
was
live.
sequential.
Yes.
Yes. So I,
Nowadays, the level 1 is taught online, but at that time it was live.
live,
Yes.
we were with Eric 5 days, and
Yes.
actually it was level 1 and 2 together.
Yes.
So it was,
What
and
was that experience like for you?
for me, it was a kind of a dream come true because I prepared myself. I had 6 months to think about what I was going to do with my life, and I was preparing to retire. I'd worked for 35 years and I was preparing to retire. And I said, of course I'm going to go. He's coming to Brazil again. I am going to be there. It was in Brasilia the first time. And I took my son with me. I didn't go alone. I took him together, and I was in the middle of 400 people and another friend. So it was a kind of an ecstasy. I was learning what I wanted to learn. I'd read the books. I'd watched The Living Matrix, which I loved. It was the first thing that actually came to me in 2012.
Yeah.
And I kept on repeating the stories and talking about the video. I showed The Living Matrix to so many people, showed Eric the stories, the biological models, everything. I said, my goodness, thanks, this is my
You're
friend.
you're so enthusiastic.
Yes. Thank you so much. You come back. And so I I really had no doubt. And then during the whole thing, my main focus also was my son, because he had problems with focus, attention, like lots of kids. Not kids. He was a man, young man, and then Gillian decided that he was going to go to the table, and Eric kind of did reconnective healing on him directly. You can't, I cried, Nadia, you can't imagine for me after all I've been through. I still remember that. God,
Yeah.
you know,
It's
sorry.
very, it's usually it's very emotional experiences, or it can be. It can be, but let me ask you, because of course, these experiences with Eric and Gillian, and Eric, who for many people is the person who is the bringer of this work, or
Yeah.
the person who made this work possible for all of us. How would you feel? Because, for instance, in the Netherlands, in 2021, um, Eric and Gillian are not going to be there for the level 2, the Catalyst event. It's going to be myself teaching, and then Rob Koning from the US is coming, and we are going to teach together. And maybe some people have some questions about that. Is it going to be the same sort of experience? It's going to be smaller events for sure. It's going to be smaller groups. But do you have anything to say about that, if people have some questions?
I don't think that should be any. First of all, I'd like to say that things have changed. The world has changed. And obviously, Eric and Gillian, the reconnective healing has grown around the world, and it's become kind of nearly impossible to continue in the same pace that they had. So very wisely, they decided to pass on the responsibility and the capabilities. It's not about capabilities; it's about responsibility, actually, to lead groups, to people like yourselves. I think you've been chosen because you have plenty to give and plenty to offer to people, in not only in terms of experience, technical experience or knowledge, okay, but it's about the quality of human beings that you are. I mean, I mean,
Well,
Sarah,
we do
Noel,
our best.
and and Koenig, and there are a few others. In Brazil, we have Malu Nóbrega, okay,
Mhm.
at the moment, head in Brazil. The events have been smaller, you know. Obviously, maybe people would like to see Eric and Gillian, but I think people have to get used to this idea that they won't be in so many countries as they used to. Because we used to talk about, some from the people like myself, when we did it for the first time, how do they manage? Because they were 5 days here, 5 days there, not, you know, and then we could see that it was quite um, demanding, you know, not necessarily stressful, but it was demanding on them,
Yeah.
even physically. And so I think this change has been positive. It came with this idea of involving more people and letting the work of the reconnection uh, be more kind of encompassing in terms of experiences, in terms of the sharings, and people can always come and join the groups, because now there's another change. There's been another change in the reconnection. It's become a more online. I mean, you can access Eric and Gillian every
Yes.
week. It's just a matter of and it's not for an expensive price. I mean, I think it's quite cheap what they're doing at the moment. The community, where you have so many opportunities, the questions and answers, and you have the Solomon Speaks, it has been included in the pack. You have these retreats, monthly retreats, so there are so many opportunities, and even to be with
Exactly.
him online one to one. So I don't feel that Eric and Gillian are essential, okay, as they
They
were.
are there.
They
Yes.
are there. They are not absent. They are there. They are every week. I try to be with them 3 or 4 times,
That's
because there is
beautiful. They are
always,
so accessible. They are
yes,
sharing their knowledge and they are sharing their love. And it's a true honor. I have traveled around the world with them for the last 13 years. I've learned so so much. Oh my goodness, it's been such a amazing journey, and it's a honor to be teaching this in my home country, the Netherlands. But I thought I would ask the question that may be burning in people's minds, whether they would miss whether they would miss Eric and Gillian at one of these Catalyst events. But I'm happy I did, and I think you gave a beautiful answer.
yeah.
Um,
That's what I feel about it. Really, I think we have to move. There is never, nothing will ever remain the same, and I think this is one of the things that Eric and Gillian very much believe in.
yeah,
They have been trying to show the Reconnection team and those reconnectors, you know, people working with them around the world, supporting their work, that things have to change
yeah,
in a nice and fluid pace, but they have to change, they have to flow. We cannot get into statics, okay? So, and so the format of doing things and presenting things has to change, and I think people are happy about that. So I don't think it should be a problem. Uh, Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how
no,
I
I
feel.
think you explained beautifully. I don't know if this will show up in our recording, but I made your screen a little bit bigger. I've noticed that, the sun is already setting here, so my lighting is going down way. I'm in a whole different time zone than you are. And it just made me realize, how all this, in this time period that we're living, it's so, the world is getting smaller in a way. You're in Brazil, I'm in the Netherlands, but we are zooming each other. We feel so much closer. We are on WhatsApp with each other, and now we're face to face. And when we have internet, we are connected in a way. And this internet, you know, makes me realize that it's such a comparison to the kind of internet there is, you know, where we are all connected through a different kind of field that is invisible, and through which, through the reconnective healing frequencies, we are also connected to each other. But I wanted to make the screen a little bit bigger because you've put the painting there, and looking at the timing, and looking at, you know, maybe as a closure of our mini interview here. I think people who are watching the interview are thinking, what is the picture you're doing there? So maybe you want to explain.
Yes. Well, this painting belongs to my friend in whose house I am at the moment. He's an oncologist, a doctor, a medical doctor, but who loves painting, and he painted it himself. And I wanted to show it to Nadia because of her life history. Yes, okay. And the moment I showed it to her, she said it had, you know, she was so moved by it, or, you know, enthused by it, because it's got this rose in the middle of the heart, and all the stitches and everything. And then, if you don't know her story, her, her her bio, it's really worthwhile finding out. Okay, because we in the living in the frequencies, we had such a wonderful moment, and it was very special because it was on the day that she experienced one of her surgeries. I still remember the 21st of June.
Mm.
And I think it was something that we all cried together. And so I wanted to show it to her. And I discovered that her birthday is coming up soon, and who knows, this could become some
I'm
kind of.
going to see if I can buy this painting of her
Yes,
friend, because it's
yes.
a
But
very,
it
very
is,
huge symbol.
yes, it's a
And
huge.
I didn't know that she would be in the house of her friend who painted this picture. And the rose is such a symbol for me. And I know there someone is going to be watching this video probably, who's actually brought the rose into my life, who's going to have a really big smile watching this this interview. And it's
Uh-huh.
all connected to the heart, and I've been opened up, the chest has been opened up. I've had so many surgeries, and the stitches are all there, and I'm sort of happy and proud with all of the stitches. So I have to connect to your friend, the painter. So
Would you like to
these
see?
are the coincidences that the frequencies bring into our lives. And I just freaking love when that happens.
Me too. Me too. And my friend speaks English, so I can bring him in and he can speak to you. Okay.
Oh, that would be wonderful. That
I
would be
will do that.
wonderful.
You want him to come in now because I have to. He's doing tests outside because he's doing a
Yeah,
postgraduate.
and we will do that outside of this little interaction, of
Yes.
course.
Okay, we'll do that.
Let me at the end of this, I will link people to all of the courses that you also named, and I will link them to the Solomon Speaks that you brought up, and the Living in the Frequencies, where they can look at all of the webinars that Eric and Jillian are doing. Do you have a message for people who are watching this, either in the Netherlands or anywhere else in the world, who are thinking about starting their reconnective healing journey? Do you have
I think.
anything to share? I know you have such great inner wisdom, and I just want to give you a stage to shine your light.
Oh, I would say that if you want to embrace and be embraced by the reconnective healing frequencies, be prepared for all sorts of beautiful surprises, loving coincidences, and be with your heart in everything. Um, for me, it was perhaps the most important thing was this certainty that later I found out was called knowingness. I didn't know it was my instinct just saying, I know, continue, despite what it appears to be happening that is weird in your life. Go on. So it's this instinct, this knowingness that comes from the heart. And I discovered by through the studies, through the living matrix, that the heart is the first and most important organ in the body. So it's the first thing that pulses when we are generated. And I'd always been a very brainy person, like most of us, on the planet. And I'm not despising the brain. I think the brain is important, but it's second. The first is here. So it is this opening and this certainty, this trust. Trust, that's the thing. I trusted. I trusted all the way what was happening to me, and that I was being taken in the right direction. I am still expanding. Okay? The living in the frequencies that I did with Nadia, Noel, and Sarah brought me my knowledge of the catalyst in me. I used to be more of a conduit. Brought me improvement in my relationships with family, improvement in the number of clients, um, more sense of peace, experiencing that, more awareness of what was around me. So many things. The knowledge of what abundance is. Because I used to connect abundance to money. If there was money, there was abundance. But abundance is so much bigger. So it is this kind of share that these people bring with their experience that I really do recommend. Even if you don't want to become a reconnector, I'm very proud of being a reconnector. I'm very happy. It changed my life. It's my second identity. I used to be an English teacher. And I was proud of that, but that came to an end. So if you want to have a new identity, go for it. It will take some time. For some people, it's very quick. For me, it demanded resilience. I had to wait for 3 years to leave a certain activity and become a reconnector. But I never gave up. Kept on going because I knew I had my heart in it. Okay?
Yeah.
So I don't know if I can say anything more than that.
That
There are lots
is
of stories. There are
already
lots of stories.
that is already beautifully spoken, and I am just going to say, um, you were a bit nervous about speaking on camera, and oh my goodness, this was so wonderful. I didn't see any of that. Never ever doubt yourself. My God, this is so beautiful. I can see your light shining through, and this is what the frequencies do. Thank you so much for sharing this with all of us.
Thank you.
I love you very much.
Thank you so much, dear.
And
And Noel and Sarah.
yeah.
Thank you so much for everything. These tears are worthwhile. Okay.
I know, I know, I know. So everyone, I'm going to put some links in somewhere in the video. I'm going to see how I do it, because there is a unique opportunity in the Netherlands in 2021 to come do the Catalyst with Rob Koning and myself in Amsterdam Park Plaza. In preparation, you will do online the portal. It's an 8-hour foundation course by Eric and Jillian. And then there is extra hours of online material that will take you through beautifully exercises, philosophy, science, and then there is a 2-day live immersion that will be a life-changing event. And I will put all the information that you need in some links below. Thank you so much for watching. Always listen to your heart, as Eleanor said. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to meet you soon. Bye. Bye for now. Bye.